from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
And good morning, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now, coming to you from our digital desk. It is, in fact, a First Alert weather day. We have been calling for this for
19 First Alert weather day.
And there we go. It is a First Alert weather day. We've been calling for this since, I believe, since Thanksgiving. And boy, did our weather team, really proud of them. They hit this on the head. A live look into downtown, still some snow flying. And this is going to be an ongoing issue. There's probably just flurries in downtown, but it's going to be one of those all-day lake effect situations. So let's bring in 19 First Alert meteorologist Jeff Tanchek. Jeff, you and I were just talking. I woke up at about 6:20 this morning. I looked out my window on the, I guess I'm in Brooklyn, and had a little coating, a little dusting. I went and got in the shower, came out 6:30, 6:40. Now I'm talking a couple of inches. It was quick, and it was in that 6 o'clock hour, just like you guys have been calling for.
Yeah. So, whenever and look, I don't care what time of year it is. I know we were running some sound bites where people are like, oh, people always forget how to drive during the first snow. If this were to happen in January or February, we'd be dealing with the same thing. Because whenever you throw a significant snow squall into a major metropolitan area during the morning commute, you're going to get big problems. I don't care where you are in the country, that's just going to happen. So we had just a ton of spin outs. In fact, that's still the case right now. We had a major squall line set up as we were expecting initially in the primary snow belt, Lake, Ashtabula County, where upwards of a foot of snow has fallen in and around the Geneva area, Madison, and then that squall drifted through the greater Cleveland area. So that's what we saw early this morning. Now we're dealing with a northwest steering wind here, and this has turned into more of a what we call a multi-band situation here, but we still have some heavier bursts of snow. Now, we don't have that solid, heavy squall that we had earlier, but as I switch over to the live scan now on the radar loop on First Alert Doppler here, you can see even Elyria, they saw some accumulating snow, still the case in parts of Lorain County. And then look at this here around Hinckley. Okay, Strongsville, North Royalton, Broadview Heights. You're getting heavier snow here. And into the Twinsburg area. Now we're starting to see that wind down a little bit. Look at what's going on. So you're adding on to the already foot of snow you have on the ground, Geneva and in Madison. So yeah, Dan, we're going to be in this. We're going to be in this the rest of the day. Not the kind of accumulating snow that we saw where we had 2 to 3 inch hour snow rates with that early morning band. Right now, we're thinking an additional 1 to 3 on top of what has already fallen, mainly on the east side, that primary snow belt. But we always put that plus sign there where squalls persist.
Yeah, it's been an interesting morning, and I just showed this CSU shot just a second ago, and it looked pretty clear, and you could see all the buildings. Now look at the picture. You're going to get these periodic sort of heavier snow that pops up. This shot looks 10 times worse than what I just showed just about 30 seconds ago. Jeff's got the radar up to show just those little bursts of snow that come through.
Yeah, and this one won't last long because of these much skinnier lake effect bands that we're going to be seeing the rest of the day. They won't last long, but it's one of these situations where, okay, take this here. Let me stop the radar. So you can see Garfield Heights, Brooklyn, Parma, not much happening. But if you are driving in and around Shaker Heights, you see that little, it looks like a little burst of snow there. But that's where all of a sudden you lower the visibility, and that's where you get potential of accidents because of these little skinny squalls. Now, this is where we have the worst of it right now. I would say around Hinckley, Richfield, there in the parts of Medina County and Summit County right there.
And again, Jeff, this is one of those snow events where we've even had some people here in the newsroom say they left their house on the very west side. They didn't have any snow, but as they got into downtown, it was a mess. So, Jeff, we're going to take our 15-second pause here and go through what we should expect the rest of the day. And then all of this snow is going to melt here in the next couple of days. So give us just 15 seconds.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
And Jeff's going to walk us through the future view here. Keep an eye on the clock in the upper left-hand corner to look at when some of this lake effect stuff is going to wind down.
Right. So I think at least through the first half of today, I'd say through midday here, we're going to be dealing with these little lake effect bands. Now, the latest guidance has been suggesting that we're not going to see much around this afternoon. We'll see. But I do think, on the east side, we'll get some. But then watch what happens. We're going to get that last little burst. See that right here? Perhaps along the lakeshore and east of Cleveland. You see how that kind of forms this evening. And then overnight, we could finally say goodbye to this lake effect situation here. Look at the 7 days. So things are going to start to change up. Of course, we have the first alert day. We're going to keep that in play through this evening, it looks like here. Another component to this is the strong winds and the cold. We didn't really talk much about that, but we have Arctic air in place here. So the high temperature, many of us are going to stay in the 20s, wind chills, single digits, low teens. But look at tomorrow. We're back up to near 40. Now that's still below normal. It'll be windy with a mostly cloudy sky. How about Thursday? 53. And then as we say hello to December 1 on Friday, it's going to be rain. And that's the start of meteorological winter. It looks like the first weekend of December will feature some showers from time to time. So after today, when you look at the forecast, it definitely looks like rain and not snow, at least through Monday of next week.
And Jeff, I've put the CSU shot back up. You're losing distance by the second, can barely see the tower when this was a clear shot just a couple of minutes ago, and it's just a quick burst. And quick burst, and that's what we're going to kind of deal with throughout the rest of the day. But boy, you say 53 by Thursday, this snow's out of here.
Yeah, it's going to melt, and it's going to be a little, a little messy, to say the least. One thing I will say tomorrow morning, and you tend to see this aftermath of these bigger snow events here, even though we don't have any snow in the forecast tomorrow morning, with temperatures in the teens and about 23 for the low in Cleveland, just keep in mind that we could still have icy spots tomorrow. We're going to be playing that game, especially on secondary roads and sidewalks and parking lots. But it does start to rebound after tomorrow morning's commute.
19 First Alert meteorologist Jeff Tanchek, thanks for keeping us on top of this, giving us that first alert way ahead of time. That's why we do alert days. Heads up, the commute on Tuesday morning is going to be a mess. Hopefully a lot of people got that first alert. They got that message. Were able to work from home. A lot of schools closed kind of late. Had to pull that trigger just a little bit late today because this did roll through at 6:30, 7 o'clock. But we certainly appreciate the heads up on all of this. Thanks for the checking in.
No problem, and we'll get ready for the next one.
Absolutely. Let's remind you in downtown Cleveland as we now take a look at that same CSU shot. Now it's starting to let up. We're starting to see the buildings again. The city of Cleveland has put down a snow emergency parking ban. You cannot be parking. They're going to try and get the downtown streets cleaned up. because of the burst of snow this morning. I think I can see a plow right there pulling onto Euclid Avenue. Or is that Chester? I believe that's Chester. So please, if you're downtown, cannot be parking. There is a parking ban, a snow emergency. We're going to keep our eye on this. The worst of it appears to be over for most of us. But that's why our meteorologists are going to stick around. They're here all day, going to watch this situation. If something were to pop up, we'll come back on here live with you. Until then, we'll see you at 11 o'clock, just about an hour from now on CW 43 and our noon news on Channel 19. Till then, I'm Dan DeRose. Have a great afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media @Cleveland 19 News.